Ladies and gentlemen, hello from the MLG studios here in New York City, and welcome back to the Winter Season Showdowns. My name is axeltoss. I'm joined by axslav. You're currently watching Creator versus Nestea in a best-of-5 in Heart of the Swarm, where the winner goes to Dallas, Texas to participate in the Winter Championship event. We're about to jump into Game 3, but before we do, I would like to draw your attention to some awesome stuff we have available right now. We're currently getting ready for Dallas. Of course, that event March 15th. If you are planning on attending and you want a little discount on the Spectator Pass, you can buy your pass right now online for 30% off. So instead of paying $50 at the door, it only costs $35 online. Store.majorleaguegaming.com. Definitely take advantage of that. Also, MLGProShop.com, some awesome deals going on every single day. Great opportunity there to get yourself some MLG swag. Also, a specific deal I want to draw your attention to is right now, if you buy a MLG branded Steel Series mouse, you get a mouse pad, one of these. Oh yeah, one of those. There you go. It's on the screen. Perfect. When you buy the Sensei MLG edition, you get that mouse pad for free. Mouse pad has a $19.99 dollar value. So go to mlg.to/Steel Series Bundle to take advantage of that. Something you should definitely do if you're looking to invest in a mouse. Me and Nick, we use these mice every day. We got one on our setup in the office, and we got one to observe. Of course, if you're looking to get into observing StarCraft 2, I use this mouse to observe all of the games you're watching. Of course, in the Winter Season Showdowns. Very nice movement. It's got two buttons on the side I like to rebind to help assist in the obsing. But that being said, let's go ahead and get into game number 3. I know a lot of people are super excited to see what ends up happening here. Of course, Creator is currently up 2-0, and Nestea has some work to do. He wants to go to Dallas. He wants to participate in the Winter Championships, but he is forced with the task of winning 3 games in a row. I don't know what's more challenging, winning 3 games in a row against Creator or creating the world in 7 days. We're going to find out. In the top right-hand location, we have the Red Zerg player, Nestea from Team IM. The map is Neo Planet S, and if we're lucky, we're going to see Zerg units slipping and sliding all over this map, because that is one of my favorite features in Heart of the Storm, the new physics that have been incorporated into the engine, into the client. In the bottom left-hand location, we have the blue Protoss player, who is 1 win away from advancing to the Winter Championship event. Of course, he was the runner-up at the Blizzard World Championships. He is Creator from Team Prime.
So the question here is, what will Nestea use? When his life's on the line, he has to win this map. What build's he going to do? Wow. It turns out he likes the overpull build. Which, of course, what the overpull
you make
is...
2 gases.
Oh, it's just where you get the overlord. You get 10 drones overlord, then you get a spawning pool at 10 food.
Okay.
But it's different from your standard 10 pool, because you do get that overlord first. So right after you start that spawning pool, you can go ahead and build some more drones.
So for some reason, I thought it was you make all your drones, and then you make 2 extraction, make 2 more drones, and then you make a 12 pool. But your supply block. But then you make an overload once the spawning pool is on the way.
Oh, that's a 12 pool.
That's just a 12.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that was over. I don't know why, but whatever.
Oh,
so yeah.
Overpull is kind of an older term. It comes from Brood War.
Got it.
People don't really use it in StarCraft 2 because it's less efficient. But Nestea, he likes to do his own things. He has a mind of his own. Likes to do things a little bit differently here. Of course, the reason why I don't see it so much in StarCraft 2 is because you'd rather get, if you're going to get a spawning pool early, you'd rather get it before the Overlord, so your first queen comes out just that little bit faster. Nestea, though, I think he likes this.
He might be happy.
He might be happy because his opponent went blind Nexus first, which is something that he may have noticed.
And look at this, the probe is going the opposite way to the Lings.
There's another probe coming out, but here's the thing. Even if Creator builds a wall, right?
The Zerglings can get a good amount of damage.
Yeah, I mean, they can kill the gateway for sure. As long as you're 6 of them, yeah, as long as they target the gateway, that's gonna die. Even if, yeah, he should just go straight for the gateway here. Is he? No, actually, he's splitting his focus.
4 Lings on the gateway, 2 in the pylon.
This could be a critical mistake. I mean, maybe he'll be able to get this pylon, but he could have definitely worked down this gateway a little bit faster.
Oh, 2 Lings running around the back. Okay, keep in mind, even if the cannon does some damage, there's still going to be some Lings alive. Lings going to try to sneak back, and Nestea is just going to back away content with what he has forced out of Creator in the form of an additional pylon that he doesn't necessarily need, as we see a Ling sliding across the map. But Creator able to hold that off without too much trouble, and he's going to be ahead here at this point, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely significantly ahead here. I think that was a critical mistake by Nestea here. If you think about those 2 Zerglings killed a pylon, right? That means 400 damage could have gone to that gateway, which means the gateway would have died. It has 322 lives. The gateway would have died, and it would have died before the cannon finished, or right as the cannon was finishing.
You could get 6 Lings on that gateway.
Yes, he could have. So I think it was a little bit of a mistake there to split his attack. Maybe, I mean, Creator's good enough if he would have pulled probes and not let the Zerglings get past the cannon anyway, but you'd still rather kill the gateway than a pylon, because if you kill the gateway, that means that there's no side core, right? He's got to restart that gateway from scratch, and it really sets the Protoss tech back by 65 seconds, which means you can be insanely greedy, because Warp Gate timing, 65 seconds later. Stargate timing, 65 seconds later. Robotics timing, 65 seconds later. Mothership core timing, everything.
And if we're talking about those times in StarCraft 2, especially in PvZ, especially around a timing-based player like Creator, that's a huge deal.
It is. I mean, like, people talk about builds being better on one map versus a different map because the map is like 6 seconds shorter to cross, right? And those 6 seconds that the timing's slower on actually make a huge difference. And it's true, 6 seconds do make a big difference. Now think about what 65 seconds can make. That'd be an even bigger difference, but as it stands, I think Creator got the upper hand of that, as Nestea did cut some economy to do that rush.
Yeah, Creator's still ahead in probes. Again, he's been able to chrono boost out probes 2 at a time, considering how fast he got that Nexus. Nestea taking a very fast third base, but not really benefiting from the extra larva just yet. He should be sneaking ahead in that worker count fairly soon as his injections get rolling at all 3 of his bases. Of course, just now starting the gases in his main base. Should be saturating that as soon as it completes. And of course, probably going to get speed first and then go into that layer with that gas. Meanwhile, we see Creator adding on 2 gases at his natural expansion, starting up that +1 upgrade, getting a decently fast Mothership core and sending it across the map, perhaps to try to deny some creep spread, perhaps just to be annoying. And Nestea should be starting to try to extend that creep toward his third fairly soon.
Look at what Creator's doing. 3 gateways, going to put on some +1 Zealot aggression, and then behind that getting Twilight Council, probably a Blink Stalker all-in. This build's actually pretty common on this map for a couple reasons. One is it's very hard for the Zerg to connect their creep.
Yep.
So that typically they focus mostly on connecting the creep to the natural and third, which means that the creep outside of the third and outside of the natural that's not just directly connecting those two won't be spread very far, which of course means Blink Stalkers can easily get off that creep and micro against Speedlings and or Roaches. It's just a very good map for this type of build.
What's the best way to react to this if you knew it was coming from Nestea? Do you go to Hydras? Do you just make a bunch of Lings and
Speed Roaches?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you go to your third? Do you spine up somewhere?
The key thing against any type of pure Blink Stalker timing is you got to get that Roach speed up, because once Roaches have speed, they can really close the distance with the Blink Stalkers and get in their face and do damage. But the problem here is that he hasn't even started speed yet, right? And he won't be able to for some time. And there's going to be probably about a 30-second window where the Stalkers will be doing significant damage before he has speed done. Not to mention the fact that being down in economy, he might just not have the Roach numbers to even do damage, even if he could get in and close the distance with those Stalkers.
Slow Lings engaging these Stalkers, and of course, expending their lives in the process. Creator marching across the map, +2 halfway done, Blink halfway done, 2 sentries in production, pylons being made closer and closer to Nestea's base, 34 Lings in production, speed just now started from the Roach's creep, trying to get extended out there, but Creator's not going to let that happen. Of course, doesn't have detection here, so he's not going to be able to kill the existing creep tumors, but going to watch over and make sure they don't expand. He might even wrap around and attack the left side of this expansion, giving Nestea more time to prepare.
I love this move. Of course, Creator doesn't really want to go too far onto creep until he gets Blink done. The one thing that can go disaster for disaster, yeah, exactly. If the Zerglings surround you, you don't quite have Blink up yet. That's the worst feeling in the world. So he's playing a little bit slow, waiting for Blink, knowing that his timing is when he has Blink and maybe +2, maybe even he'll go before +2 most likely, but you want to have Blink and you want to make sure your opponent does not have Roach speed up quite yet.
Nestea sending Speedlings to try to deny the reinforcement pylons. Great move there. Time Warp is available here from Mothership Core. There it is, onto the Roaches. Drones being pulled to help increase the DPS onto this Protoss army. Roaches trying to engage as well. 10 Roaches in production. Link swinging around the left-hand side, going for that counterattack. Burrow is about 20% of the way done, but in order to make use of that, he has to hold off this push. Not doing a terrible job so far, but losing a lot of drones at that third.
He lost a lot of drones, but if he can hold up this attack, he'll still be in good shape. Unfortunately, he's running out of units. More Roaches are being rallied. but he was unable to finish off that last Protoss pod in the back there. And now the Blink Stalkers are following his units, killing a lot of them. A decent number of roaches, but there's more Stalkers than there are roaches on the field. That's not where you want to be as a Zerg.
I don't think Nestea's going to die here. I mean, he has speed done on these roaches. Burrow is moments away from finishing, has to play smart. If he can keep that third alive, I think he's going to be okay with how this game is going. +1 missile tax is about to finish as well. Going to help those roaches so much against these Stalkers. Creator trying to reinforce more and more with those Stalkers, remaking that mothership core. Now going to target down that third base. The question is, can Nestea save it? No, he can't. A Queen going to try, or was that researching Burrow?
I think it was.
Oh no!
He was researching Burrow on the hatchery at a third.
Oh no!
That was his one way to get back in the game. As it is, it's just going to be equal economy, and with good Blink Micro as the numbers scale, the Stalkers will beat the Roaches. Creator just has to play it slow. In fact, he may even want to back up and get a robotics, but no, he's going to keep pushing forward, try to get some good trades using his excellent Blink Micro. Nestea without Burrow, it's just makes it much more harder to stop because he doesn't have the economy advantage either.
Stalkers at +2, Nestea is engaging on creep, so that's going to be a good thing, but Creator able to blink back the weakened Stalkers. Nestea biting for time. More roaches, more lings in that production tab, but Creator has way too much of 84 to 73 in supply. Could this be the end of Nestea in the winter season showdowns? Could this be the ticket for Creator at the to the championship event? All expenses paid on March 15th. It very well might be a drastic mistake there from Nestea. Researching Burrow on that forward hatchery, and there's the GG. Nestea knocked out 3-0, and Creator taking the match victory pretty convincingly.
That was a very, very solid game. I mean, ever from the start, where Nestea, when you do a build like that, if your opponent goes Forge before Nexus, it's okay to not do too much damage, especially if they go Forge and Cannon before Nexus. If they go Nexus first, like Creator did, your Zergans have all this time. You've got to use him to get some critical damage done. All he's able to do is kill single pylon. He needed to go focus on that gateway at the very least. Because imagine if he had another minute before that build hit. He'd had roach speed done and a hoarder. Yeah, I mean, Burrow would have been almost done when that hit. It would have been a totally different ballgame.
Yeah, that's a great point, and it's like what could have been kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to think about, but ultimately, kudos to Creator reacting appropriately. Another brilliantly timed timing push there. I mean, he knew that he knew Nestea's build based on those early links, so he recognized, okay, I have a timing here. A timing that might not have existed in the past. Blink Stalker's already good on this map, was able to take advantage and able to convert that to victory, and he's going to take the series 3-0. You're going to see Creator Prime at the Winter Championship event in Dallas, Texas on March 15th. Let's recap a little bit. There we go. Creator, of course, his portrait isn't faded out. Nestea, unfortunately, not going to be able to make it through, but if you're a Team Incredible Miracle fan, you better stay tuned. 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We're going to have MVP versus Curious. That should be a TVZ for the ages. Actually, all of these matches look incredible. Of course, on Wednesday, Seed versus Sniper, another IM representative, leading into Marine King versus Gumiho. Jokji versus Dong Ray Gu. Get on Reddit, get on Team Liquid, tell people this is going on, and have a conversation. You can tweet at us. I'm at axeltoss. He's at axslav. Of course, great matches coming up every single day, 5 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching this, or if you're just now joining us and you missed the matchup, I'm sorry, but it's okay. In a couple hours, the VODs will be available in full 1080p HD on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/official MLG SET. You can go subscribe there now and be notified right when those get up, so you don't waste any time and you're able to watch those and experience the greatness that was Creator with the 3-0 over Nestea. That being said, that concludes our broadcast for today regarding the Winter Season Showdowns. Tomorrow we resume at 5 p.m. Eastern, so definitely tune in then. Coming up next, it's going to be Rules of Engagement with Mr. axslav. What do we got today?
That's right, sir. Today we're going to be analyzing the Rhett versus Feast match. It was a really exciting 5-game series. Rhett showed some cool new uses of some of the new Heart of Swarm units there. Was played on Friday. So we are waiting for these videos to come up on YouTube. Check out Rules of Engagement. It will be coming on in just about 10 minutes. Swarm hosts and Mutalists and Phoenixes, oh my, all the whole hordes of Zerg and Protoss clashing.
If you're a Zerg player and you're trying to learn Heart of the Swarm, this is the Rules of Engagement you want to watch. Rhett showing how to use those Swarm hosts very effectively in Heart of the Storm. Of course, axslav going to show us how it can be done potentially a little bit better. So guys, stay tuned, and of course, tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern with the next edition of Winter Season Showdowns. See you in Rules of Engagement. Stay tuned.